Hello out there to you. In this video, we're going to calculate Monopoly's profit maximizing quantity given the total revenue function off of price and quantity, and then total cost function off of quantity and total cost. So I could sit here and fill it all in, but today I'm going to use Excel. So what I did is I copied all of these numbers into here so that I can find what I'm looking for. And so let's make these in the middle there. Okay. All right, so total revenue, here I'll do some formulas up on the top there so you can keep them. Total revenue is price times quantity. Marginal revenue is the change in total revenue divided by the change in quantity. Total cost, we're given total cost. And then marginal cost is the change or the difference in total cost divided by the change in quantity. Okay, so price times quantity is going to be 0. So we'll just write a function here. So it's quantity times price. That gives me 0. What I can do is just copy that function by hitting Control D, or if you don't want to do it that way, you can grab that little tiny plus sign and just drag it on down. That's weird. All right, and then if I want marginal revenue, so it's the real formula would be the difference between these two. So 41 minus 0, that's pretty easy, it's 41. And then I want to actually divide it by, I want to divide it by the change over here, which in this case is always going to be 1, but you might have something that's a little more complicated, so I need to do that part. Okay, so then I'll just copy that formula all the way down there, and you can see it goes negative right there. Okay, now already I know that when the firm produces 7 units, they've maximized their revenue. I can see this in 2 ways. One, I can just see the highest total revenue amount. I can also see where the last quantity produced before marginal revenue goes to 0. So this would be our this quantity 7, price 23. That is revenue maximizing quantity. It's also the quantity where the part of the demand curve changes from elastic to inelastic. So it's always elastic up on the upper left portion of the demand curve and inelastic in the lower right hand portion. Okay, let's do the same thing with our marginal cost. There's no marginal cost at 0 or marginal revenue because there's no -1. You're always comparing it to something else. So actually, I think I can just copy this formula right over here. No, I cannot. But that's okay. We can update what we've got here. So I've already, here it's looking at total revenue and total cost. So I want to change this over to here. You can just grab that part. You can also change the letters there if you want. So it's 12, and that looks like it's consistent with reality. Copy that on down. Okay, now I've got everything. Okay, and I want to draw a graph. So let's take this and this. We're going to go to Insert, and you can choose kind of whatever one you want there. Actually, I like the sort of scatter plot one. Where is that one at? I was doing it earlier now. I don't see it. Oh, because it's under chart. Okay. So this gives me price. I'm just gonna call this Monopoly example. You can call it whatever you want. Here you can add axis title. Call this price. And here down here, it's gonna be quantity. Okay, and then this right here is demand. So if I want to add, should be able to name it. Let's see. Series name, we're going to call that demand. something got fat fingered along the way. Okay, well, it's not gonna let me. Doesn't like the renaming. It's okay. I think I can come in here. Names. Yeah, that's okay. All right, now I want to add something to my table. So select data. I'm going to go to add, and now I want to add MR. Okay, so the X values on MR are going to be 1 through 10. And then the Y values on MR, marginal revenue, will be right there. Okay, so now it's drawn a marginal revenue curve for us. You can see it right there. And then let's get a marginal cost. Cost X value is going to be 1 through 10. And then Y value is going to be over here, 1 through 10, to go along with that. And that actually makes sense because if you look, it starts off at 12 and then it goes down. Then it goes up and they equal at 7. So do they equal at 7? Yes. And then we're going to mark up the price all the way over here. And so that's going to be price of 23. So if I want to make my graph look a little bit, I don't know, more presentable, I suppose, I can do a couple of things. I can go into here. And I want right here. Format axis, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so instead of going by 2s, let's go by 1s. And so that looks a little bit better. And then we don't need to go all the way to 11. We can go to 10 and a half or something. Just a little less space right there. Oh, now we're going at 9 and a half. Okay. We don't like that. Maybe reset it there. Okay, I guess we're going to go to 11. And then let's label everything. Next axis now. Okay. And then we want to go over here. We're going to format axis here. And instead of going up by 10s, let's go up by 5s. Let's see what that does. That looks a little bit better. Okay. And then if you want, you can come in here and you can bold this if you want. You can change the font, whatever you need to do. The only thing I didn't do was label demand and marginal revenue. So how would I do that? I would go into, I can label the data if I want. Trendline, legend, ooh, legend. Okay, good. And it's the only one I don't like is that price. I wonder if I can do one of these. Oh, there you go. So we tricked it there. But now you have a real nice graph, and if you wanted to, you know, put it into a screen share program or something, you could show the dead weight losses right here. You could show if they could perfectly price discriminate, they're going to produce to here. If you wanted to calculate the consumer surplus, it would be the area underneath this triangle right here. So real linear triangle, you can calculate that. Oops. And that's how to make your graph. And you can just copy this graph into your Word or whatever other document that you want to get.